It's getting cold out. Can you stoke that a little bit? Thanks.
I'm Michelle, a longtime realtor.
I'm her husband, Mark, a television news anchor.
Together, we've started a podcast.
And we want to hear from you. So, let's talk.
What are you waiting for?
I don't know.
Cheers.
Yeah. Camping in our national parks is always fun, but it's not easy, is it?
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
It takes a lot of planning, organization, even months ahead of time.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
It does.
Yeah. In our recent trip to Glacier National Park, I actually started, I was going to say I started 6 months before, but that was for another national park because we changed our mind, didn't we?
Yeah, we had to.
Right.
Yeah.
We were going to go back to Grand Teton National Park. We've been going there for 3 or 4 years in the Sprinter van, renting that. And then in early June, they had major rains and floods there, and we wanted to spend more time in Yellowstone, upper northeast corner of Yellowstone. Those roads and the campground that we want to go to, Salute Creek, were all washed out. So this was probably end of June or so, I decided let's do something we've been wanting to do for many years, and that's go to Glacier National Park.
And it's so hard to go somewhere different when you find a camping spot, like I've said before, because we're camping whores. We want the best spot.
Right, and we found that in Grand Teton, didn't we? And in Yellowstone, the Salute Creek, and what was it, Signal Mountain?
Signal Mountain. It overlooks
campground.
The whole lake.
Jackson Lake. Right.
So, yeah.
So we loved Grand Teton because it's small. You can drive around, and here's the tip for people who don't want to do a lot of hiking. You can go to Grand Teton. You can see bears, elk, moose, eagles, bison, fox, all from your car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't need to hike. They're right along the road.
But Mark, okay, let's be realistic. People stop me, call me, message me all the time, and they say, how do you guys find the animals that you find? Because that's true.
That's not by luck, I don't think.
No, it is work.
We work.
We get up way early in the morning.
When the animals are getting up or going to bed.
Before the sun comes up.
Because that's when they're most active, and in the evening.
In the evening, and we look for them. This little bear is running away from the coyote. He doesn't like the coyote. I can only fit a couple people in my van. Who's king? Who's king? The jungle.
Right, and we know where to find them. There are spots in Grand Teton, you can guarantee you're going to see bison or moose or bears.
Bears. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we got very accustomed to going to those two national parks.
Right.
But in the last couple of years, we've actually had reservations to go up to Glacier. And 2 years ago, during COVID, I canceled those because the east entrance to
the
Glacier.
Tribe.
No, it was the Blackfeet. Okay, the Blackfeet tribe are on the east side of Glacier National Park, and they were afraid of COVID, and they didn't want more tourists, so they had the Park Service close down the east side.
Right.
And the only thing open was the western half.
So you couldn't
So
It's too crowded.
for our very crowded. So you're printing everybody who wants to go to 1.5.
Right.
And we thought our first time, we're not going to do that.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So we canceled when that was 2 years ago. And then last year, I had reservations again, and I decided at the last moment we like Grand Teton
Yeah. It's hard
so
to
much.
change. It is hard to change.
So I changed back to Grand Teton. This year, same thing, but I think what changed it was the flooding.
I'm so glad though, because
Right.
it really was really cool.
So we need So we were thinking people were raving about Glacier National Park.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures. I've done all the research, but I did not get the time to get the campgrounds, the campsites, because there's a system. Reservations, you have to make reservations 6 months to the day. So that would have been like in February.
You have to be diligent.
You have to get on this recreation.gov website to the second. And I've done that many times with Grand Teton. Never have I gotten it when I get on at 9 a.m. 6
Never.
months ahead.
What's your tip?
So my tip is, it's called, and I didn't get a chance to do that with Glacier National Park, it's called CampNap.
Right.
What you do is you pay a small monthly fee, and they tell you when people cancel. Like we canceled ours at Grand Teton
At the last minute.
at the last minute, so somebody got our campsite.
Right.
So I subscribed to this, and lo and behold, almost every day I get the chimes saying, and then you have to get on recreation.gov on the spot, right?
So
Right.
so the problem with that was this. We're in the park last week at Glacier, and we're getting some pings on some different camp areas, and you have no internet.
Right.
You
Well,
get-
I mean, you get pings
immediately.
maybe 2 days afterwards
yeah.
because you have to do it right at the moment. So I did have I made so many reservations
Yeah, we
in the last
overlapped.
they overlapped
Yeah.
because I wanted to make sure we had a campsite.
But it's a good thing we overlapped because of the weather. We couldn't do certain hikes on certain days. We had to stay at a certain campground to do a certain hike.
Right.
And so you pay a little bit more, but, Bradshaw has this Golden Eagle I'm going to die pass. So it's almost free to go to
It's
the
a
national
senior
park.
lifetime national park pass, okay? Instead of paying, $25, $35 every time you go into the park,
Right.
I pay like $80 or $90 for the rest of my life, which might
One
be
time. One
or just
time.
one time, which it comes in handy there.
It does.
Okay, so you have to make a reservation for a campsite, or some of these campgrounds are first come, first serve. And so then you have to get there sometimes at 6 in the morning, get in line, and wait for
Be pushy.
an opening there.
Yeah.
So,
I hate doing that.
Right.
I do.
And also Glacier has what they call a reservation system to go on this road that goes from one end to the other end of the park called Going to the Sun Road. Fabulous road. I mean, I'm showing some video of it now. It lives up to its hype. And it's people say it's treacherous. Yeah, it's treacherous, very narrow. You can't have a vehicle over 21 feet. So ours is 19, our van. So we had no problem there. So you have to keep the number of vehicles down, you have to have a reservation to go across on any day, any certain day there.
Right.
And if you don't have that,
They will turn you away.
They'll turn you away.
They will turn you away.
But you
Those
can
rangers are mean.
Well, some are.
There's another story.
Yeah, some are. But if you have a reservation in a campground along that route, the corridor of Going to the Sun, that counts as a reservation for a car there.
Here's another tip, though.
What?
You can make a reservation just to go fishing, rent a bike.
Boating?
No, just rent a bicycle.
Right.
Inside the park,
Lake-
that counts
Right.
as a
At
reservation.
Lake McDonald, Apgar.
That does.
Campground or anywhere along the corridor. Now, I did think that I was okay when I had a campground reservation in Mini Glacier. Mini Glacier is considered the nicest campground
That's true.
at Glacier. And you have to go It's to the far east side of Glacier, go out of the park, and then go north and come back into the park, and it's a dead end at Mini Glacier.
And that's where you go into I was calling it Big Feet, but it's the Blackfoot.
Blackfeet. Okay, you're getting better. Bigfoot, Blackfoot, Blackfeet.
Anyways,
tribe.
you go in through and you see
Right.
their reservation, and then you go back into
Right.
the park.
So I thought since I had a reservation at that campsite, I was good for going to the Sun Road. But then I read that doesn't count because it's not on that corridor
So weird.
of going to the Sun. So there are so many rules and regulations you need to find out before you go there.
Mark's not very good at rules. He got 2 tickets. 2 tickets on this
No,
trip.
no, warnings. Tickets would mean I'm paying a fine.
Actually, 3.
3.
3. Because they actually took the time to write out his violation. Not mine. Not me. 3
Okay,
times.
okay. Which one are we going to start with?
I'd start with Mr. and Mr. Badass.
Mr. and Mr. Badass. We are at that Mini Glacier campground area. There's a lodge, a gorgeous lodge.
You have to go there. Do not go to Glacier National Park and not go to that lodge.
It's right next to this swift current lake. The backdrop is unbelievable, and you can see in the background the mountains there, the snow, the glaciers. That's the hike we took. The second day we were there, to the top, to the Grinnell Glacier.
Right.
That was quite. We have a link to that podcast as well. So we're there one evening. It's a well-populated area, gorgeous. And I got out of the van. We parked alongside of the road. I got out of the van, walked across the 2-lane road to get some pictures of the lake with the mountains behind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
At this point, he's pretty innocent.
Right.
No, this is almost not his fault.
I'm always innocent. So I'm taking pictures, and right before that, we saw a ranger truck coming across a bridge toward us and went past us to the lodge.
Yeah.
So we know they're in the area.
Yeah.
Okay. So remember that.
Yeah.
So I'm taking pictures of the lake, and I hear a woman screaming, "There's a bear!"
Not me. I would never do that.
And I turned to the road.
It's really not me.
And there was a bear running at me.
That's true.
A black bear running at me. He wasn't running
To kill him.
he was running towards me. And it was probably 50 yards away, maybe less than that, 40 yards away. And I was conflicted. As a photographer, do I stand my ground?
Take one for the team, Mark.
And take pictures, or do I run to the van? Well, as you can see,
You took the pictures.
well, it's not very good. Okay, I'll have to slow it down a little bit. But I was taking a picture and then I ran.
Yeah.
So I ran to the van, and Michelle was in the van, and she said, "What are you doing? Get out there!"
Get out there and take those pictures.
Okay.
We have bear spray.
Okay. So I get out of the van. By then, I had seen that the bear was running towards me, and he veered off, went around a corner.
He wanted berries.
And I couldn't see him anymore, so I thought, he's in a full gallop.
Right.
He's gone by now. So I get out of the van, and I look around the corner. He's right there.
Like
Probably
I would say,
30 feet away.
Yep.
30 feet away.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. And then Michelle's coming out. She's standing next to me.
I was curious.
Right.
I'm okay. Normally, in my defense, I am normally not afraid of the black bears.
Well, and that's true. That's true. I mean, they're usually in a berry coma unless they have cubs.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
But there are rules.
Yeah. I don't want to be a Turon.
And Turon, what are Turons?
They're tourists that are morons.
Tourists, and plenty of those. And I'm not saying we haven't been one ourselves. But so we're both outside of the van. The bear's right there. So I'm conflicted again. I'm thinking, okay, the bear, am I more scared of the bear, or I know that there are park rangers
That's true.
somewhere nearby.
They were close.
They don't take kindly
No.
to tourists that are around bears.
Right.
And we were too close to that bear.
But
so I
he
said,
had a van.
no, okay. But I said, Michelle, and you argued with me a little bit.
I did.
I said, we need to go right now.
I was taking pictures of him.
We need to go right now
I know.
because if those rangers come and
Yeah.
see us right here, we could get in big trouble.
No, Mark saved my ass
Right.
for sure.
Right. So we get in the van, and then we move up a little closer because we're in the van.
Yeah.
So we're like 30, 40 feet away from the bear.
Yeah.
And we think we're fine. So here comes,
Mr. and Mr. Badass.
right? We didn't know that at the time. They were park rangers. We
rangers.
didn't know how badass they were, but we could kind of guess. So they come out of their truck, and they are just, you can see the video here, they are just yelling at that bear. And then you can see one of them look towards me, and I'm thinking, he's going to take care of me after he takes care of the bear.
Right.
Right.
So-
So they go after the bear. They scare the bear away, and then they come back.
Yep. They did. Full force.
And I turn my camera
I
on.
love to watch Bradshaw get in trouble, number one.
I knew I was going to get in trouble, but I didn't think I was going to get as much trouble as I did. I turned my camera on, put it down on my lap, pointed it towards the window, knowing they were going to come to our window. No way was I going to point that camera that they would know that they were on.
You'd
Okay.
probably get arrested. You probably would have.
No, they couldn't do that.
They could do that.
But I don't know.
They totally
but,
could do that.
okay. So the first guy that came up wasn't too bad.
No.
But he alerted us to, and I said, what's the problem?
Right.
I know the 100-yard rule to be away from a bear.
If you're not in a car.
Right,
That's
right.
what we thought.
That's what we
That's
thought.
what we
He
thought.
said, no, it's a vehicle as well.
That's baloney.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do?
You see a bear, are you going to stop or keep
So
going?
I was nice, wasn't I? Right. I said, I'm sorry. Thank you for what you do and all that stuff. And then
He wasn't like that afterwards.
Okay. And then the second ranger came up, and he laid into me.
Oh, but here's the great part about the second ranger. He was so good looking. Like, I'm like dying.
Yeah, but he wasn't very nice. Okay. He wasn't nice, and then they took
Showed
off.
that force.
Yeah. I mean, he let us know that we weren't in the right there.
Whatever. He
All
was
right.
cute.
So they left. We left. We went back to our campground, which is just about a mile away, and they have some park workers there. One is a park host, like a volunteer, older guy. Another one was a young girl. She was cute.
She's a ranger,
Yeah,
not a
and-
volunteer. That would
right.
be, don't tell.
She was not. I don't think she was a park ranger.
She was a ranger. She was a ranger.
She was a park employee. She wasn't on the same level as that guy. No, I think she was a park employee. Anyway, we had seen her throughout the week. We talked to her, very nice, very pleasant,
Super cute.
And then you told her about our experience.
Yeah, we drove in. I'm like, oh my God, we got in so much trouble on the way in. She's like, what happened? I told her, and I'm like, man, that ranger was so good looking. And she goes, what do you look like? And I told the beard and the mustache. She goes, that's my boyfriend. I said, well, just tell him we called him Mr. Badass.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Mark didn't get a ticket there. He just got reprimanded. There are 3 other times that
We
he
were-
actually got tickets.
Okay, another one. Well, I mean, it was a ticket. I didn't get fined. We were in this Rising Sun campground, which is
Right.
close to the Highline Trail hike that we wanted to go on. And it's very primitive. And, another story is about bears. When we first came into the campground, there was a flurry of activity.
Because of the
with
grizzly bear.
park rangers and employees were, you could tell something was going on. What happened was this grizzly had come through the campground earlier in the day, and they were evicting everybody in a tent.
Yeah.
You had to be in a hard enclosed vehicle in order to camp there. So everybody, a grizzly.
Well, it wasn't just the grizzly bear. It was also the black bear.
Okay, there were bears,
There were
in
bears
that
all
campground.
around the place, yeah.
So needless to say, we carried our bear spray everywhere.
And I put these on my backpack because I always wear a backpack, and I had these when I wanted to go into the bathroom, when I wanted to take a walk. So this is me
I put
everywhere
the
I go.
headlamp on at night. We're walking around. She's going, what was that?
We're not at the Four Seasons. I'm just
Did
saying.
you see that? Is that just a shadow or is that a bear?
Yeah.
So there was a lot going on in that campground.
Right.
And then, the first night, I started a fire, a campfire. And
Wait. Before you did this, we had actually met one of these volunteer rangers, and I was saying how nice his little dog. He had a little dog.
Yeah.
And so we had kind of made friends with him. So keep going.
Right. He seemed pleasant at the time. So I start this fire. It's a great fire.
It was a good fire.
And then we both needed to go to the restroom, which was like a minute away, a little walk, and
Like,
that was
so
at the same
close.
time.
I could see it. Like,
So close.
yeah.
So we both went to. We were gone probably 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
3 minutes.
true.
Came back, and your friend Dudley Do-Right was there, and he was
writing a ticket.
He was writing me a ticket because I left the campfire unattended.
And then he chewed Mark's ass. He did.
You know, can
it
you
was
really
so
argue
great.
with that? Because I did do that, but I did say, or maybe I wanted to say, you have a grizzly running through this campground, terrorizing this campground, and you're worried.
Focused on me.
And you're worried about my campfire. And the
And
night before, it was
raining.
pouring down rain. It was wet everywhere.
It's so true.
So you're worried
It's so
about
true.
my campfire for 3 minutes,
Right.
when you have a grizzly that's terrorizing this campground.
He was using his power.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was number 2.
Yeah.
What was number 3?
Number 3 was when we were looking at the
Northern
Lights.
Yeah, it was the last night there. It was a clear night. We were down by Lake McDonald, and so we wanted to see the stars. Glacier National
amazing.
Park is considered one of a dark sky park, meaning there's no light pollution. Oh my gosh, the stars were unbelievable.
We tried to take pictures, but
Well, I wanted to set up my GoPro and do a night lapse. I would have had to leave it there overnight, unattended, and I thought somebody's going to find
some
it.
bear's gonna go,
Yeah, so I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So we went down there for like a half hour. We parked in a parking lot,
right.
all by ourselves.
It
There
wasn't
was no
even
one
that
there.
late. It was like 10 o'clock.
It was 10 o'clock, and we were the only one there.
Right.
We were legally parked there. Went maybe 20 yards, 30 yards down to the lake,
Yeah.
away from the trees, half hour, and as we're coming back, I see headlights
It was a ranger.
right next to our, I didn't know at the time, right next to our car, and I think, did somebody just break into my vehicle?
Right.
Because they took off. They saw our, I'm sure they saw my flashlight. We're coming up the trail.
Right.
And then they took off. So I'm getting up there thinking we're broken into.
Nope.
No.
Just got a ticket.
It was right there on my
Don't
window.
spend the night here.
Right. Don't you dare. We could arrest you or something like that. I don't know what it said.
We had a
we
campground
have
right
it
there.
there. It's like he could have easily yelled out, anybody out there? Are you guys okay?
Anybody looking at the stars?
Right.
Maybe.
Okay.
So,
So I got in trouble a lot.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
It's really strange.
So camping isn't always easy, but there's always an adventure,
Yeah.
isn't there?
It is.
Yeah.
I love
You
it.
have to plan everything when you camp.
Yes.
Where you get gas, where you get food,
That's true.
where you get service, where you get your campsite, how to get from point A to point B, everything.
And I have to have bacon always. And that is no lie.
So you run out of bacon,
And
then
you
we're
can't
going to
find any bacon.
we're going to have to go like 20, 30 miles to get some bacon.
Yeah. So the camp stores don't always have what you want.
No.
You kind of eat spam. Just kidding. Although, what did we eat? Because I'm a good planner. What did we eat?
Well, we had fish that you didn't catch one night. It was great that we bought at the store. Mm-hmm. Why didn't we catch? Well, you did catch 3 fish.
It's catch and release.
Right, it's catch and release.
Illegal. That would be
Right.
another ticket, Bradshaw. Just saying.
We had thought that you could catch fish and we were going to fix it and have it for the week.
Right.
But it's catch and release.
Can you really see Bradshaw I catch the fish?
I used to do that.
And then
I
he's
used
going to
to do
have to
that.
cut the head off, and then he's going to have to gut the fish and pour the guts out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. So what were we talking about?
What we eat.
What we ate. We had fish.
good.
We had chicken one night.
Taco
we had
salad,
hamburgers, taco
hamburgers.
salad.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. In the mornings, you had you fixed
I always have bacon and eggs.
Bacon. Here we see it here grilling.
That girl food.
Right.
You gotta have
And
it.
eggs.
Yeah. And then we had a charcuterie board
Right.
that one night.
Right.
Yeah, that was good. And wine. Good
Right.
wine.
Right.
You have to make it like a fun experience, or you're going to be miserable and feel like there's something wrong and you should be in a hotel room.
Right.
Trust me on this one. There's an airplane going.
They're probably going someplace fun right now. Oh, they're coming
they're
home.
landing.
Oh, they're landing.
Oh, that's horrible.
Okay.
But you do have to be organized if you want it to be a fun trip. You can't just get there and then say, what are we going to do today?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we did that maybe a couple of days and it didn't turn out well. Right?
On this trip.
Well, I mean, we didn't have a plan. So we just drive around a little bit and we kind of wasted some time.
Yeah. But we were there 10 days. So
right.
we had
But,
time to
I mean, you did some fishing. I love to see you fish. And we did a podcast on that.
So my goal is when you come into town, we pick up the Sprinter van. And we should just buy one because we were just wasting our money. I'm making sure my cat's still in the yard.
Mm-hmm. We run it from a company. I'll give a plug to them. They're called Moterra, Moterra. GoMoterra.com. I don't get any, kickback.
No, we never ask for things like that.
On that.
No.
So, I mean, it's a great way to get around a park and to stay overnight.
Right. So I think it's a great way. I'm not that prissy. Obviously, I wear my hair like this on a regular basis when I'm camping or with a hat. That's true. I wish I could get some free dry shampoo from Moroccan Oil. I'm going to plug Moroccan Oil dry shampoo because it's really expensive. But anyways, that's what I do. And but we have a shower in our van. People ask me all the time, do you have a shower? And we do.
Right.
So that's 26 gallons of water, and I can take a nice, long, hot shower.
Well, long, I don't know.
Well, long.
Define long.
Long.
Okay, well, that means I get nothing then. Okay, no hot water. Okay. But another thing, when you're in a van, you have to worry about the water, clean water, and fill that up. Mm-hmm. Gray water, gray water is. We have to empty that.
It's dirty water.
Yeah, dirty water. And sometimes you forget, it overflows a little bit.
Yeah.
But you just need to know where the dumping stations are and the filling stations.
So I'm just going to say this. We're not that mechanically inclined, but we haven't crashed a van yet, right?
Right. No, we haven't. I can't say it if we did. I'm not going to say it right here.
Okay.
No,
but
we didn't.
no, we're not that mechanically inclined. We do really well.
No.
Right?
No, we do.
Yeah.
And it's very easy. If you're interested in that,
just do it.
Let us know. I mean, we can hook you up with.
You have to
I
get
know
along,
the three
though.
owners,
Don't
Trevor, Gabe, and Kevin. So they've been great.
But don't do it with a partner that you don't get along with.
Right. Close quarters.
Yeah, it's very close quarters.
Right.
So.
Right.
I mean, you can always take a walk.
Yeah.
And leave them.
Yeah. When a bear grizzly is outside. Take your bear bells, your bear spray, your headlamp, and chances are you'll come back, but there are odds you won't come back.
But that's the fun of it. That's the fun of going camping. You never know what you're gonna. Well, we just run into all kinds of things.
It's all fun and games until you get eaten by a grizzly.
Yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed our podcast and thank you for spending your time with us. We'll see you next time for another episode of Let's Talk.